building up a pizza shop is all about getting repeat business. Being successful in this business is all about getting people to order from you more frequently, right? Chasing new businesses is always going to be part of it. That's marketing, but loyalty is what drives repeat business. So give them a reason to come back. You control that by really killing it with the experience, but really just take care of people and then find a way to reach out. If you don't have some kind of loyalty program in place or some kind of system where you're collecting data, phone number, email address, something to reach back out to people, then you're doing yourself a disservice. What's going on, Pizza Fam? Look, I appreciate each one of you for listening to this show, listening to this episode. Before we get back to it, I wanted to tell you about my favorite product right now, Todd's Curry Sauce. I met these guys at the Florida Restaurant Show, Pizza Tomorrow Summit, and I'm telling you, ever since I tried that sauce, I have been putting it on everything in the shop. Chicken wings, pizza, you've seen the pizzas, chicken sandwich, salad dressing, we've been putting Todd's Curry Sauce on everything, and I'm here to give you a special deal, special offer. Go to their website, todscurrysauce.com, use code Pizza King, and get 10% off your next order. I promise you, you only need to try it one time. It's going to be the best curry sauce you ever tasted in your life. You're going to start putting it on all kinds of stuff in your shop, even at home. I got a bottle in the pantry here at the house. I got a bottle at the shop. Elliot, Todd, I need another bottle because I'm putting it everywhere. I'm putting it on everything. So go check it out. Use code Pizza King and get 10% off your next order. Peace. Let's get back to it. What's going on, Pizza Fam? Welcome back to another episode of Pizza King Podcast. I'm your host, as always, Tyrell Reed. We are day 5 of podcast-a-thon, day 5 of National Pizza Month, continuing to celebrate the existence of pizza out here in the world. Today is Sunday, so I wanted to do something a little bit different. I think we'll do this every Sunday through the month. Just kind of open it up for some Q&A. So send me your questions, info@tyrellreed.com. Send me your questions. I'll answer them right here on the air on Sundays. And look, if it's something that people like, maybe we'll start running another little segment for it. But I have a few questions to start off just for today. The first questions are really about startup. The first question is, how much does it really cost to open a pizza shop? This is one that I get pretty often. And realistically, I would say you can start a pizzeria for as little as, I got big hair coming off me, for as little as the things you see on camera are crazy. So you could start a pizzeria for, relatively cheap, in my opinion, like 75,000, 75, 80K. You could really start a pizzeria or get open, unless you're doing something real small, like a pop-up, or you're just doing them, real small scale. You can start for a couple $1,000s. But if we're talking about having brick and mortar location, fully equipped, something that's ready to take on a staff, service a large area, you're probably looking anywhere from 200 to 400,000, depending on what your build out is going to look like. And that's understanding the equipment costs. These are going to be your most expensive thing: equipment, build out, licensing, impact fees, licensing, construction fees, permitting, things like that are, start to cost a lot of money. Plans, all these things have a cost to them. You really want to make sure that you have a nice solid plan and budget when it comes to opening, because with a range so wide, things can really start to get out of control if you're not fully prepared for what you're jumping into. But if you're looking to do it on the cheap, you're looking to do it on a budget. I think I did an episode just on how I would do it if I were going to open a pizza shop. We'll have to link that up. But, overall, my advice when it comes to opening it up, and especially if you want to do it at a relatively reasonable cost, start small, scale as you grow. Keep your operation simple, so your equipment plan is simple, and small footprint. So second gen is always going to be the way to go for me. I like something that's got a hood on it, something that's already got gas lines if we're running gas equipment, or has the capability to run electric. So you need to make sure you got enough amps on that panel to run what you're trying to run. If not, I'm probably moving on from a property like that. Just because it's going to cost so much on the front end to get it right. When you're talking about adding in a second panel, or second panel or breaker box or whatever you want to call it, those things start to cost a ton of money. You got to put a hood in, starts to really take that cost um, way up. Second question is, what type of pizza business is most profitable? Delivery, dine-in, or carry out? In my experience, the most profitable stores are the smallest stores, the stores that have been able to keep the cost down from a labor standpoint and from an occupancy standpoint. So you got low rent, low labor, you can make some good money there. That's my plan for running a profitable pizza business. Now there's pizza businesses that are huge and are wildly successful. I'm just saying it takes a lot more effort, a lot more money, and a lot more manpower to drive those. But the most profitable shops, in my opinion, are the shops that you can run with 2 or 3 people. Got a a limited menu, and they don't pay a lot in rent. How do I find the right location? The first thing you do is understand what your goals are. You find the right location when you get something that is built to accomplish what you're set out to do. There are obviously tools and baseline figures that go into finding a location. Like what do the traffic counts look like? What are the neighborhood demographics? Is there any, what's the proximity to local schools, office buildings, larger businesses? Those things start to play into, where you're going to get your business from. And then also, what's your potential for break even? I recommend you start with that. I like using my break even calculator. You can get that on my website, but free break even calculator lets you think through, hey, how much are my pizzas going to cost? What's the rent here? How many do I really need to sell to make money and break even here? That becomes an important metric. So, but on the practical side, just take a look what the neighborhood looks like. Are these the kind of people that are going to buy your product? Because that's usually who you're going to serve. Are you in an area? Are you in a center that's walkable? Do you have visibility from the road? Have there been other businesses there that have failed? Start to understand those, and that'll help you decide if a location is right. But ultimately, I'm always looking for value. So if the rent is right and the neighborhood is right, I usually can find a way to make it work. And I think that's it for the getting started questions. Oh, here's a good one. It says, how do I build a menu that makes money? Do the math, understand making money when your menu starts by understanding what your food cost is and understanding what your ingredients are going to cost you. So until you know your cost, you're really taking a shot in the dark with your pricing. Next question says, what equipment should I never cheap out on? Ovens, refrigeration, that's the heartbeat of your business. So in the pizza business, your business is a mixer, an oven, and then refrigerators. So as long as you take care of those things and you buy from reputable companies and reputable brands, you got good warranties because they're going to be serviced. It's just how it goes. I would never cheap out there. I would never cheap out on ovens, refrigeration, or mixers. Everything else can be, you can get a mix of new and used. You may be able to get some off-brand prep tables or a microwave, but realistically, if you got a good oven, you got a good mixer, you got good refrigeration, you can run your business. All right. Oh, we've got some leadership and team questions. I like those. All right. This one says, how do I train my team to be consistent? Consistency starts with the leader. So your team will be as consistent as you are. If you are the person who puts a system in place and then you do it a different way, you might as well throw that piece of paper away. If you put up a training guide or a spec sheet on the line about this is how we make the meat eaters pizza. It's got this topping. It's got 48 pepperonis. It's got 4 ounces of sausage. It's got 4 ounces of bacon. It's got this, and then they see you just free-handed and you don't measure. You wrote that system for nothing. Consistency starts at the top. If the leader's consistent, then people will follow suit, and then you inspect what you expect. There it is. It's all in follow-up and communication. All right. This one says, how do I keep my team motivated and engaged? Talk to them, ask them questions, care about who they are beyond the role that you place them in your pizzeria. Engage when it comes to the work. I love a nice little daily huddle. Just how do we just have a quick little chat before we jump into the thick of it and say, hey, look, tonight, let's make sure we focus on our waste tonight. We made a lot of mistakes last night. We threw away, 6 pies at the end of the night. Let's really take our time, read through those tickets, make sure we check the notes on everything and have a good shift. Let's set some clear goals for the shift, but do that daily. And then recognize people in the moments. Like, hey, that one was a tough one. I had to read that ticket myself 4 times. I'm glad that you got it. That is the way to keep people motivated and keep them engaged. So when you communicate, There's recognition. You set clear goals. Those are great tools for keeping people engaged. All right. This one says, how do I deal with turnover? I don't know, man. Get on your knees and pray. I'm kidding. Dealing with turnover is different for every type of operation. Some businesses just have naturally high turnover. I spent a lot of time in fast food and we were consistently 250% turnover. That was the nature of the beast. Quick service is up there. Pizza's quick service. You're going to have 100%. You're going to have new people every year sometimes in your pizza shop, 150% turnover. But what I would focus on is building a leadership pipeline. You can have turnover at the team level. Not saying team members are expendable, because they are not. They are very expensive to replace. And you build connections with people and relationships. No one's expendable. You can keep your operations intact and keep your operations running smoothly when you have a leadership pipeline and structure. I'm a big fan of using the 1-to-1 framework, having one general manager, 2 junior managers, and always at least one person in development. That helps you replace management and folks as they go. You always have somebody, like next man up, like football. You always have that next man up. But it also keeps you in build and development mode, and really changing the focus to be internal. What else we got here? I'll do 2 more and then we'll close it out for today. Oh, that's a good one. This one says, how do I get my first 100 repeat customers? Keep it local. Focus on your neighborhood. So building a business, this is like my overarching philosophy when it comes to building up a pizza shop. Building up a pizza shop is all about getting repeat business. Being successful in this business is all about getting people to order from you more frequently, right? Chasing new businesses is always going to be part of it. That's marketing, but loyalty is what drives repeat business. So give them a reason to come back. You control that by really killing it with the experience, going above and beyond, but really just take care of people and then find a way to reach out. If you don't have some kind of loyalty program in place or some kind of system where you're collecting data, phone number, email address, something to reach back out to people, then you're doing yourself a disservice. But you get your first 100 repeat customers by building up a loyalty platform and continuously communicating with them and offering them value. Not saying you got to offer deals, but you just got to communicate and offer value for people to come back and make sure they have a good experience. All right. And the last one. Well, that's a big question though. It says, how do I scale beyond one store? You scale beyond one store by having excellent leadership in place. You got rock solid systems. You got depth on your bench. So you got leaders, you got second level leaders, you got third level leaders in development. Your leadership structure has outgrown your one store, and your consistency has made you so profitable that it's time to expand. I would never look to build on I would never scale something that it hasn't been proven yet. Some people come in and they have these dreams like I'm going to open 3, 4, 5 locations, and then they start building out these other locations even before the first one even works or has proven itself to work. So now you're trying to figure it out in 2 places, or you're trying to figure it out in 3 places. That's the wrong way to do it. Figure it out in your one store first. Build your leadership up there, build your systems, refine your systems, start to build your bench and your depth, and then grow as your team grows. When your team is outgrowing your store, now it's time to get another one. And I know that's like a perfect timeline. Doesn't always work that way. But if you're noticing that you have, you have leaders that are wanting more, you have profit that is you're continuously running profitable periods and months in the business. Like you're not seeing that dip. And sometimes you start to grow and you see the dip where we're having a good month and then we have a slow month. We have a good month, slow, but you're consistently growing sales year over year, month over month, week over week. Now it's time to think about, okay, now we have a proven system. How do we duplicate that? So figure your system out, build your team, and then think about growth. But listen, if you're serious about starting and growing your business, answer those questions for yourself before you chase the next shiny thing. Those are hard questions to ask. Like, what's my budget going to be on a build out? How am I going to build a team? What's my leadership structure going to look like? Where am I going to get my products from? How much are they going to cost? Can I get reliable? Can I source reliable ingredients for the style of pizza I'm going to do? Can the neighborhood afford what I'm trying to put out there? Can I afford to be in this building? So, you start to answer those questions for yourself and you build out a really solid plan. If you want help with that, start with my new store opening checklist or my idea to open guide. These are free tools that are just there to help you. So, they're available on the website. You can get them, TyroReed.com. If you want, join me live every Tuesday, 2:00. We're talking about a lot of these same things. We talk more team building and leadership structure on those live workshops, but I'm there to answer any question. So that's it. And until next time, really until tomorrow, because we're going podcast-a-thon. This is day 5. We'll see you then. Take care. Pizza King Podcast. Peace.